All right, and we're back. Hello everyone, 'tis I, Chaddington, and we're back with another reaction video. I've gotten so many requests for this song. This is Eric Bogle. The band played Waltzing Matilda. I did some preliminary research, and according to Google, it's a song that tells the story of a young Australian soldier who enlists, experiences the horrors of the Gallipoli campaign during World War I, and returns home maimed, disillusioned, and forgotten by a society that had once glorified war. Yikes, that sounds pretty intense. But apparently people really love this song, so I'm excited to check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and without further ado, here we go.
I wrote this song in 1971.
Whoa.
Now, the mathematicians will work out that was 38 years ago. Can't believe that, but this is how old this song is.
Wow, I didn't know this song was that old. 1971. That was a long time ago. No offense to any older folks watching the video.
And I wrote it after I saw my first Anzac Day march in Australia, which was in Canberra in 1971. And I wrote this song, and here it is. Next year, John and I celebrate our 30th anniversary together. I bought him a gold watch.
Hold on, are they like an actual couple, or does he just mean like musically or something? Okay, sorry. This is a terrible time to stop it. I just have to comment. You don't see people playing guitar with finger picks like that anymore, so I think that's pretty cool. It's a much more clear sound, a little bit more of an older sound, I guess, but it's cool. Okay, I'll go back to the start here.
Now when I was a young man, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life on the rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, oh, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time you stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat, and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war.
Okay, so very simple song, a very nice fingerstyle guitar accompaniment, which is cool. Pretty simple chord structure, simple melody so far. And we're starting off the story of his country sending him to war, so I guess we'll see what happens next.
And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the cheers, the flag waving and tears, we sailed off for Gallipoli. How well I remember that terrible day.
Okay, one more thing. You know, this is I feel like a fact about history that I hear so often. He mentioned that there's the band playing them off as they're setting sail to go to war. And there's frequently, I hear stories of this fanfare and like people being excited to go to war. It was like, I heard a story once, particular to World War I, where an entire university class of young men all joined to go to war, and only like a few of them survived. But apparently they were all like really excited to go do this. And it's like, are you not aware of what you're getting yourself into? Like, this is not cause for celebration. Like, many of you are going to die. So it's just like, it doesn't make any sense why we would celebrate that. It makes sense to celebrate people who've come home from war. But yeah, it's kind of like this weird, like, clash of events happening, like celebration and war shouldn't really go together.
How our blood stained the sand and the water, and of how in that hell that they called Sula Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turk, he was waiting He primed himself well. He showered us with bullets and he rained us with shell. And in 5 minutes flat, he'd blown us all to hell. Nearly blew us right back to Australia. But
Wow, that's intense. I also feel like I've heard this melody in probably like a few other songs at some point. I'm trying to think of where I've heard it. I'm a pretty big bluegrass fan, and there's a band called the Del McCoury Band, and I feel like they have a song that sounds similar to this. I just can't recall what it is.
the band played Waltzing Matilda. When we stopped to bury our slain, we buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs. Then we started all over again. And those that were left, we tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me off overhead, and when I woke up in me hospital bed and saw what it had done, oh, I wished I was dead. Never knew there was worse things than dying. For I'll go.
Man, that is a sad song. And he's really being incredibly unsubtle with the lyrics. Like, you know exactly what's happening. And I don't know, I'm not sure if I like the way he's describing it. I feel like he could maybe be a little more descriptive with the lyrics and maybe leave more to the imagination. But yeah, I mean, it's a terrible situation, and that's the reality of war. You know, it's pure human carnage.
No more waltzing Matilda, all around the green bush far and free, to hum tent and pegs a man needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. So they gathered the crippled, the wounded, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla.
Looks like this melody and chord progression is never going to change throughout the song. And this is a almost 8-minute song, so that is a bold move on behalf of Eric Bogle here.
And as our ship sank into circular key, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thank Christ there was nobody waiting for me to grieve, to mourn, or to pity. But the band played waltz.
That's got to be, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of that situation where you're glad that there's no one waiting for you because of what has happened to you. I mean, that is, you know, obviously an incredibly heartbreaking thing. Yeah, that's like a side of returning from war that you don't hear talked about. Whenever you watch films of people coming home from war, like there's always, you know, they're getting off the ship and their family's there and everyone's like cheering. But it never really shows the people for whom there's no one there. Much less does it show how those people, depending on what they've been through, could actually be glad that that's the case. I mean, that's a crazy thing to think about.
Matilda, as they carried us down the gang, but nobody
Where's Moana?
Looking for Moana 2? It's now streaming on Disney+.
cheered. They just stood and stared, then they turned their faces away. And so now, every April, I sit on me porch and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reviving old dreams of past glories. The old men march slowly, old bones stiff and sore, the tired old heroes from a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. But the band plays Waltzing Matilda. The old men still answer the call.
Still thinking about the end of that last verse. It's one thing to go to war, and it's another thing to be sent without knowing why you're going to go in the first place. That just makes it worse, honestly.
But as year follows year, more old men disappear. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come waltzing Matilda with me. And their ghosts may be heard as they march by that billabong. You come a-waltzing Matilda with me.
Cool. All right, so I've got some mixed feelings about this one. Now, I do recall when I did my reaction to I Am Australian by the Seekers, I said that when it's kind of a folk song like this, the words are the most important part, and you can't expect to be wowed by the musicality of it. And that's definitely the case here. The point of the song is the words. It's telling a story, an incredibly sad one. But the difference is in I Am Australian, there was much more of an arrangement, like there was a band and multiple musicians. Now, one of the things you learn from especially people who teach songwriting is that good songs are supposed to stand alone on their own, and an arrangement shouldn't make you think a song is better than it is. But as musicians, you're aware of the fact that it is inevitable that the arrangement you choose is going to affect how your song is perceived by an audience. And so that's probably why I liked I Am Australian more, because it went somewhere. It started off really slow with the didgeridoo playing at the start and just one guy and a guitar singing. But by the end, there was a full band. The drums had kicked in. There were 3-part harmonies going on. But also, more importantly, when it comes to the actual song itself, that song, I Am Australian, had a really anthemic chorus that was different from the verses of the song. But this just kind of felt like the same thing over and over again. The chorus wasn't different enough from the verses, and it just kind of went on, and you really have to be locked into the lyrics and really, be paying attention to get everything you can out of the song. And to be clear, I really do like this. I like that it's very emotional, but at the same time, it was just so tragic. Like, it was so in-your-face tragic. It just seems like, and again, not taking anything away from the song, because I don't know this, but it seems like he might have just sat down with the purpose of, I'm going to write like the world's saddest anti-war song. And he didn't really think about much else other than that, because it's a long song, and out of respect for your audience, you got to change it up a little bit. And again, I'm not a songwriter, so I'm not an expert on this, But musically, this is a good example here. The chorus starts on a C chord, which is the same key that the song is in, and also the same chord that the verse ends on. You could just make a simple change. And again, I'm just throwing out ideas here, but what if you started the chorus on a G, like just to make it a little more interesting? You know, maybe that's a little too modern for a song like this, but I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here, trying to make it a little more interesting musically. Yeah, I can definitely see why people love this, especially Australians, especially veterans, and especially Australian people who might have lost family members to war. This song would be a very powerful song. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If there are any other videos you want me to react to, be sure to leave a comment down below, and I will catch you guys next time.